All right. So what do we do now? Chuckle. Oh, God. What is this? All right. Here we go. The dictionary defines the word chucklehead as a stupid person. Synonyms include blockhead, dimwit, dope, dumbbell, halfwit, idiot, lame brain, moron, nincompoop, numbskull, yo-yo. Well, you get the picture. Hey, don't say we didn't warn you. This is the Chuckleheads Podcast with Brandon and Lewis. Is that it? Is that the whole thing? Unbelievable.
You know what I feel like right now? Because we're in this cargo container to do the broadcast, if you will.
Right.
I feel like Lethal Weapon.
Yeah?
You know, when the car comes out and the money's like, wow! Like, it's just...
Just because of the goat screaming? Is that what makes you feel that way?
I guess, well, being in this cargo
that
container.
Too. Well, that too.
All right. Well,
what's up, everybody? It's Chuckleheads Podcast.
Chuck.
You got Brandon here, along with Lewis.
Yep. Sir Chuck.
Sir Chuck.
Yeah, if I ever go over, over the pond, they'll call
Lord
me.
Chuck.
No, I wouldn't go Lord. No, that's like naming my kid Jesus. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
But you do that if you're Mexican.
Jesus.
Yep.
Anyways, what's up, buddy?
Man, just doing it to it.
Man, it's been, we missed a week or two, but that's all right, we're back.
Yeah, it feels good. Hey,
yeah.
Dude, it has been nuts. The last 2 weeks have been just full throttle. First, I got to know what that smell is in here, and we'll figure that out a little bit later.
Yeah.
But on the other first,
talk about that off air.
I got to know about this wrestling you did, man.
All right, I'll tell you what. So we've got a lot to talk about. We had a wrestling event where they asked me to do the commentary for the show, and it's actually on Facebook. It's like a full 2-hour show, very well produced. I'll share it on our social media.
Who produced it?
Kind Punk Films.
Okay.
There's a nice little plug for our buddies, Kind Punk Films. Nathan Mowry, a buddy of mine that I made a new friend here at the wrestling event for Southern Honor Wrestling. We'll get into all that.
Right, yes.
Lewis, of course, was at Brimstone Paragon. You got to hang out with our buddy Smagical.
Mm-hmm. And Street Bike Tommy.
Street Bike Tommy was there. Everybody's favorite redneck.
Yes, Hubert was in the house.
So we'll talk about all that. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. But something I've been so excited to talk about over the last couple of weeks, since you and I saw each other last, we had a big surprise on social media. We follow our buddies, the Constellations.
Right, because we were in their
Atlanta
music
band.
video together.
That's right. So back in the 99X days, of course, we broke them on 99X with Felicia, their big first big single. And
man, you just said we. We had nothing to do with it.
Come on, man. They don't know that.
But we sure as hell love to play them.
Go on,
my
man.
God. No. Go ahead.
So we had fun with them, and we did a lot of stuff. They came up to the station a bunch of times. We did crazy challenges with them, throwing bologna and cheese at Big Joe.
That's right.
And just all kinds of weird
Minutes
stuff.
to tat it.
And that's right. And so actually, Lewis ended up, we'll talk about this in a little bit, because what I'm getting at is we're going to be talking to our buddy, Elijah, the lead singer of the Constellations, Elijah Jones. We're going to talk to him here in just a few minutes. Actually, we talked to him earlier. We're going to play it for you here in just a minute.
I can't believe you hooked this up,
man.
man.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. So they just released a new single, and it's got 2 new tracks on it. So we're going to talk to him about those. And exclusive.
Oh, he's pregnant.
No.
Okay.
He's going to allow us to play the 2 new tracks on our show.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so we're going to hear them we're going to hear them.
Right.
We've already heard them, but the fans are going to hear them.
Let's slow down for 1 second. Hit the brakes for 1 second.
All right.
What did you do to Elijah to get all this kind of access, getting the 2 new songs, getting him on the...
That is neither here nor there.
Oh, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk. There's something. You did something. Paid him off or something.
Well, let's get into it. Here is our conversation from earlier with Elijah from the Constellations. Here it is. All right, we're here on the Chuckleheads Podcast. It's Brandon and Lewis, and we are so excited. We got our buddy Elijah from the Constellations calling in. Elijah, how are you, buddy?
I'm wonderful.
Dude, how did you patch him in? Is this really Elijah? Elijah, if this is you, then what music video was Brandon and myself a part of the Constellations?
Right where I belong.
Whoa,
It's him back! Yeah!
Jackpot. Oh,
How'd
man.
you do this?
It's magic, man.
Man, you're good. You're good.
The love song to Atlanta, man.
That's
right.
true. That's true.
Oh, man, this whole time we thought it was a love song to me and Lewis.
Oh, yeah, right. I was just honored to be a part of it.
You're a big part of Atlanta.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Man, how have you been? We haven't talked to you in a few years, man. How's everything going?
Man, things are good, man. Things are great now, man. Things were bad for a while there, but now they're definitely looking up, man.
Yeah. Why? What do you mean by bad?
Just like how life goes, man. Sometimes, there's peaks and valleys.
Right.
You know.
Are you you're not living here in Atlanta anymore, are you?
No, I've been in Nashville for almost 5 years now. Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be 5 years in April.
Man, so how's the because that's a complete different world than Atlanta.
It really is, man. Whenever I go back to Atlanta, I'm like, well, what is the city? Where did all these people come from? Jesus. But it's cool, man. I like Nashville, and there's great music. The city is run on music.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great place to be for sure. The allergies are a little ridiculous.
Right.
Well, we follow you on Facebook, of course, so we know you've got Elijah Jones and the Tenderness. When did you start that up?
I started that like a year ago, I think. We played it. Dan Dixon from Please Please asked me to open up a show, and
nice.
I put a band together and did it. I've been writing like a madman since I got in Nashville, so I was really looking forward to getting some new music up.
What is it about Nashville that helps you write? Is it everything's new and fresh and?
I think a lot of it's to do with my mind. The state of mind that I'm in now. I went through a pretty tough time there for a little bit, and had a lot to write about. So
there you go.
There's something to be said for struggling.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Definitely.
But I got up here and just kind of dove into it, and had no plan on, I'm going to put, this is what it's going to sound like, and these are the kind of songs I'm going to do. There was no agenda, for a long time I was writing specifically for the Constellations, and it was kind of nice to be free of that for a minute,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Write whatever came to mind,
Well, since you brought up the Constellations, that's what Lewis and I were talking about off air. We were so excited to see that you got 2 new tracks from the Constellations. Now, here's the thing, not just me and Lewis, but we have some other buddies, too, who were just huge fans. And, of course, back in the 99X days, playing you guys when you first debuted, came out in Atlanta. And
we played Felicia.
Yeah, we played Felicia, the first big single. And, man, we had so much fun with you guys just over the years. But then we hadn't heard from you in a few years, and we wondered, were we ever going to hear any more Constellations music? And then out of the blue on Facebook, I see you post, or I see the Constellations page post that there's 2 new tracks. What's up with that? Like, how'd that happen?
All right, Elijah, let me answer that for you. It was because I just looked down a couple months ago at my tattoo of the Constellations on my leg, and I said, hell, man, do I get this thing covered up, or do I get this thing touched up? And now I got to get it touched up.
There you go.
There you go.
So, yeah, how did this all come about, buddy?
Before I left Atlanta, I was working with Dan Dixon, and we were doing a bunch of songs, and then it turned into working on a third Constellations record. And I was definitely struggling with some chemical dependency, alcohol problems, and it was in the depths of that, really. And that we recorded the record, but I was headed for the fall, for sure, and couldn't get it together to put the record out. You know what I mean? Just really had to focus on getting my mind right, getting my soul right.
Yeah, of course.
And there's been a couple of people that have been kind of pushing for the record to come out, and really, I was just like, you know what, man, these songs are good. I love the record, so just figured I'd put a little teaser out, and then try and release the record sometime early next year, and see what happens. You know what I mean? I've got zero expectations for it.
Right.
But
people were pushing you guys to put out some new music. Was it people in the industry? Was it people in the band?
Both.
Okay.
There was a radio programmer in Milwaukee. My friend Peter Adams was working at 88.9 Milwaukee, and he had been in my ear about it, for pretty regularly. And he gave me a link to, I guess we were on some sort of Spotify playlist or something like that, and we were getting 40,000 spins a week or something.
Yeah.
I think half of those were Lewis and me.
And I appreciate it. I think I might earn a penny or two in a couple of years.
Well, you're welcome.
So So you're just saying I need to send my thank you cards to Milwaukee?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got it.
Yeah,
Will do.
You got it.
a lot of good fans that have reached out over the years and asked how I'm doing, and doing some new music coming out and stuff. And I actually had a Constellations fan come up and has almost been to every Elijah Jones and the Tenderness show.
Awesome.
Jessica, yeah, she's
Heck yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So I figured at the very least I'm gonna do it for those guys. Put the record out.
Right, but is it everybody in the band? Is it the same? Is it Wes and everybody in the band?
Wes played bass, yeah. Jason Knackers, who was on the first two records, was on it. But for the most part, a lot of the stuff is me and Dan Dixon. Dan was wearing a number of different hats in the recording process. Mainly producer, but also every other thing that I can't play.
Oh, right. Right. And the fellas, everybody was all cool with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. Absolutely. I've been in touch with all those guys. We're all still great friends.
Right. And before
Dad and Jamie and Shane and Trevor, all those guys.
I actually ran into Jamie at one of the Glads games last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I was like, dude, I'm running. I want to sit down and talk with you. Hit me up. He's like, yeah, you hit me up. So we still haven't crossed paths again, but I plan on hitting him up so we can. Man, he's got kids, and everybody's just going in crazy different. Right, nuts.
Getting married and having kids.
Well,
I'm still the odd man out there.
No. Now
hey,
listen.
Man, I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not. But listen, Elijah, and please don't think that I'm trying to pet you here because.
But that's a weird way to put it.
But listen, man, because this is crazy. I follow him on Instagram, right? He puts out the coolest pictures. He is like the modern day Marlboro Man. Like he's the outdoor rugged, don't mess with me. If you do, you'll get a song about it, and it's not going to be pretty. Like, dude, I love your attitude in your pictures. Me, I take pictures of, my taint or something. Like, I take crazy. Well, maybe not my taint.
Would you quit saying taint on the show?
That's what I'm trying to get at least 4 of them in before we close out the show. No, like I'll take crazy pictures of people's feet or something nuts. But he's like, dude, he has them in black and white. And I'm not trying to pet you here or trying to get on your good side. I like to think we're buds. But some of your pictures. What is the process, Elijah, for you to post just one picture of you? Like the one that keeps popping in my head is the one where it's black and white. You're like, it's shot down and looking up, but you got a cig in your mouth and you're not even looking at the camera. Like you're just too cool. How does that work?
There's not a whole lot of process involved. It's more just that everything looks better in black and white, I think. So I figured I'd stick with one theme.
All right.
For lack of a budget, everything's in black and white.
He can't afford color film.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Yeah.
The next black and white post I do, it'll say #Elijah Black and White.
All right.
That's what I'm starting.
There you go.
That's what I'm starting. Well, I'm glad. I'm really glad, man, that you guys are all still talking and still family. And do all the guys still live here in Atlanta, or where's everybody at?
Everybody, I think, everybody's in Atlanta except for Trevor. I think he's in Portland. I'm not exactly sure about that, but I'm pretty sure he's in Portland. I haven't seen him in years. But everybody else is in Atlanta, as far as I know, unless something's changed in the last few weeks.
Well, so this is interesting. What I was wondering, so you're saying that a lot of these guys are still the ones that are playing on this album that's coming out. So were these songs recorded several years ago, or? Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they were several years ago. Me and Dan went back and did some touch-ups on everything. A lot of the songs weren't finished.
Yeah.
So we just finished them off and did a good little mix on them and. But yeah, all of that stuff, it's weird because a lot of the subject matter is about me, like going into the depths and falling off and almost.
Is it weird for you to kind of relive it as you're putting out the new stuff, even though it's stuff that happened a while back?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of an emotional process when you put something out, some new music out into the world. With this one, it was especially emotional for me. But it's good. I mean, I think it's good. It's almost like I can't move forward without putting that out, you know. So
Gotcha.
it's nice little. Not I don't want to say closure because you know hopefully we'll do some shows with this. Record.
Yeah, well, hey, when one door closes, another one opens, my man.
Exactly.
We still talk about some friends of mine and I mean, we've been wishing for new Constellations music for years now, but we went to the album release party that you did at the Claremont Lounge. And actually, Lewis, did you introduce him on stage with Blondie?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
Blondie got up
that's
there
right.
and crushed some cans.
Yep, that's
Lewis
right.
introduced the band up there. And that was still, and I remember like there was no AC in the building that night, and it was like the sweatiest, hottest mess, but it was the funnest show I think
Yes.
I've ever been to. And you guys absolutely killed it. And I guess, was that the release? That might have been the second album release, was it?
I think so.
It was the Virgin release.
Yes.
You know, we did
that's right. It was Southern Gothic.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
And
That's
then
right.
then we also did a.
Yeah, I remember.
News-
I was wearing a all white suit.
Yeah.
Right.
White pants,
Pimp!
white vest,
Dude.
white jacket,
See?
and I forgot to wear underwear, and I was sweating through the suit because there was zero AC in that building and like 700 people screaming.
Dude,
And,
you're the coolest. Dude, you are the coolest. Like, seriously.
Well, look, before we get any further, we want to set up now.
yeah.
We're excited because Elijah's going to allow us to play the 2 new tracks on the podcast tonight. So first, let's play Dreams of Oniana. You want to set up that song a little bit for us?
I wrote most of that a long time ago. Actually, even before the first release, it was kind of like, you know, I was having a moment of looking back at my childhood, and you know, that was the last time I remember, you know, real innocence in my life was playing with my cousins and my big brother in Oniana. We had a family friend who had a lake house up there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like just kind of my ode to my childhood and kind of trying to remember the past in a good light, you know. Dreams of Oniana. It is in Alabama. It's pronounced Oniana.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I saw the title and I thought, I didn't know if it was like an Indian word or I'm not sure what it was. And then I heard the song and then I heard how you were saying it and I was like, that's not how it looks like it was going to be said, but I got to know.
Okeonta, yeah.
That's straight Alabama.
All right, let's check it out right here. Dreams of Oniana. It's the brand new Constellations right here on the CHP.
Chuckleheads.
Muscadine wine with blows the dandelion through a honeysuckle breeze. The dogwood blossoms with the season. We'll picnic on the forklift, watch the fireworks spit, watermelon seeds. I close my eyes and have these dreams of falls from the sky, the jars are filled with fireflies. We'll picnic on the fourth wheel, watch the fireworks spit, watermelon seeds. I close my eyes and have these dreams of summer cicadas, the sweet serenade of Alabama. I have dreams of summer cicadas, the sweet serenade of Alabama in my dreams. In my dreams. serenade of Alabama. I have dreams of Ariana, summer cicadas, the sweet serenade of Alabama. I have dreams of Ariana, summer cicadas, the sweet serenade of Alabama in my dreams.
Man, I love it. It's and like you said, this stuff is stuff that you recorded, several years ago. But I was telling Lewis earlier, it sounds like good old Constellations music.
Yes.
Like it could have been right off one of your first two albums, and and not in a bad way at all. But it sounds awesome.
Like they never ever missed a beat.
It's what we've been missing.
Yes.
Like we've been missing the Constellations so badly. And the other thing about that song too, you talked about it taking you back to childhood and hanging out there with your cousins. To me, it sounds like such a great summertime song.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
Cicada.
Yeah,
Did you have a
exactly.
bad experience with a cicada or something, Elijah?
I've had many bad experiences with cicadas. When I first went to when I first heard them, man, I was like, "What is that noise, man?"
Right.
I won't go into the details.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, what a
There was
great
something
song.
else involved.
Dude, you know what? Do you know what's so cool about you, man? You were the most passionate person about not only music, but your music and not only how it makes you feel, but you're connected with, I guess, your audience. Like you really, you could tell that you're so passionate about your music and what you put out that people just want to be, drawn to you and the Constellations.
Well, man, I appreciate you saying that, man. I go to the record store probably 3 times a week and sift through stuff that I've never heard of, and it really is my church, and I consider the stuff that I do sacred to me. You know what I mean? It's about like getting through some stuff. It's sometimes about praising something, like the city of Atlanta or my childhood, or I was waved the flag for debauchery for a long time there.
Right.
No, I never noticed. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, besides the lyrics, what is it about music that moves you? What is it about a song or a live performance or even one of those records that you pick up that you haven't heard? What is it? But besides, like I said, the lyrics, the music itself.
I'm gonna steal a line from my favorite movie, Immortal Beloved. It's a movie about Beethoven, and Beethoven asked this guy, what is it about music? What is it that is so special about music? And the guy says to him, well, it exalts, and he's like, nonsense. When you hear a march, are you exalting? Are you exalting? No, you march. You hear a waltz, you dance. And he says that it's the power to bring you into the mind of the composer when he wrote the song. And I really believe that a good song, you can't even explain it. I fell in love with Tom Waits when I was a kid, and a lot of that stuff was way over my head as far as what he was talking about. I still don't know some of what he's talking about.
Dude, your song Step Right Up.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're talking about Tom Waits.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But there was something about it that put me into a different world. You know what I mean? You close your eyes and you're there in this, dreamland of whatever the composer's talking about. So,
Right.
for me, that's, I think, part of what I love about music, Yeah.
It shows, and there's not many people that and that I can think of, back in the day of interviewing, bands and talking to them about music, and it wasn't always about the pure essence of what music is about, like you and the Constellations. Wes and I remember, hanging with Wes back in the day, and God, I can't, and because I'm on the spot, I can't think of it, but his first band. Second Shift. Thank you. His first band, I knew then that okay, maybe he's a white dude with the fro, but he loves his music. He gets it. And it's just like you guys, there's something else that you guys have that nobody else has. I can't say nobody. Jack White has it. Has there's it's so hard to explain.
Hey, Jack Black has it too, man. Tenacious D
Yeah,
is amazing.
that is true. But I meant Jack White, but Jack Black has it too. But there's only certain people that I can actually tell that there's something more to music for them than anybody else. And like me, being in radio, and Brandon, being in radio for so many years, I love music. I can't play anything. I can't sing, but I love music. But you take it to like a whole nother level, like of the passion and the love for the music. And that speaks volumes. Like it really does, dude. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat you.
You're not trying to pet him again,
I
are
think
you?
so. I think so.
Yeah, pet me, sugarcoat me, do all the things.
Light your cig for you.
Do all the things he says.
No, man.
All of it.
Like you can, like I was saying, like you can tell, like there's not many people that really, I don't want to say get music, but that feel that passionate about music.
You know, I was driving in the car the other day and listening to a Percy Sledge record, and I had to pull the car over because I was tearing up. Like,
See?
you know, like, music is the most important thing for me.
There's
you know?
no other high.
No, there really isn't, man. There really isn't.
That's awesome, man.
And so pure, and yeah.
Well, let's tee up the next song here on the
you
single. There's 2 new tracks.
Good
Like
one.
I said, this one's called She Loves Control. Any kind of backstory you want to tell us about this one?
Well, yeah, okay. So this is sort of I had a resentment at an old ex-girlfriend, which I've now patched that up and we're good. But you know, it was kind of about her and you know, her dependency on certain chemicals and my dependency on other chemicals and just how, you know, making a mess of things basically. But breaking free of that control, that relationship, and going out and, you know, you ever heard somebody say drinking at somebody? That was kind of what the story is. Drinking at her.
Does she know this song's about her?
Yeah, I think she does.
Oh.
Probably.
She does. She didn't. She does now.
Well, you know, because obviously she listens to the podcast.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I love her now.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, she's an amazing person, and I sort of regret writing
No.
a song
No,
with a poison tongue, but you know, we're all right.
Well, and here's the thing too about fans or anybody listening to the music. I mean, everybody kind of can make it their own song, make it their own, mean what they want it to
Own
mean, you know, in
interpretation,
their
yeah.
own life. So that's the great thing about music too, that different songs can mean different things to different people. You know, you might have meant it one way when you wrote it. Somebody else might listen to it and it means something totally different.
I told somebody the other day, they were asking me about my writing process and my lyrics and stuff like that, and I was like, well, here's what you do. You do your best to tell the truth, and then when you hit a wall, you lie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, let's hear it then. Let's
All
hear
right,
it.
here it is. She Loves Control right here on the CHP. Check it out.
Lipstick stains the cigarette that she faces. Back and forth on the floor, waiting for a call. She's in pieces, and it always
Well, there you go. She Loves Control, another new track from the Constellations. Actually, it's been put out, recorded a few years ago, but we're just now hearing it, just now released it here within the last couple of weeks. And so glad that Elijah's here joining us. Elijah Jones from the Constellations, the front man. Thanks, buddy, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
The modern day
I
Marlboro
really
man.
appreciate you having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, so here's real quick before we let you go. Are there any, like you said, are there plans for future shows possibly, or do you know, is there anything lined up?
Well, what we're probably going to release maybe one or two more songs before we put the record out in January. I believe January 10th is when the record's coming out. King of the Gutter.
King of the Gutter. Is that what you said? That's the name of the album?
Yes, that's the name of the record. King of the Gutter.
King of the Gutter.
like
Lewis
it.
is writing it down.
That's me.
There it is. In a white suit, no
And then,
underwear.
we'll probably do like a album release somewhere in Atlanta, maybe Milwaukee.
Yes.
And just see how it goes, and
Maybe Claremont Lounge with no AC.
There you go.
Oof, I don't know if I can do that again.
2 pair underwear this time.
We'll figure it out.
Man, well, Elijah, before we let you go, man, I still do have the Constellations tattoo on me. I will keep it, and now that you guys are bridging it back together, I'll go get it touched up. But I do, from the bottom of my heart, man, I hate to get sappy, but I just want to tell you, I really appreciate everything you've done, through the years and being so cool with everybody. And I don't know what Brandon's doing for you to get, your number. He actually has 2 Elijah Jones phone numbers in his phone, so I don't know what's going on there. But for you to be cool after all these years, B, if you don't mind posting on our socials the Minute to Tat It with the Constellations, which is a great video.
I was going to say, so yeah, not only Lewis thanking you for all that stuff, I wanted to thank you for all the fun memories we have, because I think one of the first times we hung out with you might have been a Live X, but then we did a challenge with you, the Minute to Tat It. We're throwing bologna and cheese at Big Joe, and he's not wearing a shirt, and
Getting cheese to
catching
stick.
peaches in his underwear and all this weird
And
stuff.
CDs into watermelon. That's crazy.
Man, you had no clue what you were getting into when you showed up that day, did you?
He knew he was going to get tattooed.
See how cool he is? Like, he knew he was getting it.
That's right.
Because Elijah wasn't getting a 90. Because the challenge was, if I won, then they had to get a 99X tattooed on them.
That's right.
And if I lost, then I get the Constellations. Well, I still have the tattoo, and I wear it proudly.
That's right. But then once you got the tattoo, what do they say? You get to be in our next music video.
That's
And
right.
we're in, like Elijah said, we're in right where you belong. So I'm going to post that video too.
Yes, and you
that's a
kissed
nice
Brandy. You kissed
Shut up,
Brandy.
man.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, you did.
And they didn't even use that. They didn't even use that shot.
Oh, they didn't. That's right.
Man.
I'm hearing a behind the scenes release.
Yes.
So behind the VH1 making of Behind the Band, or what do they used to call that? Behind the Music?
Yeah.
there you go.
Behind the music.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, actually.
I've been working on my behind the music for a few years now.
Oh,
Can't wait to see it.
dude, it's going to be the craziest behind the music you've ever seen. White suits for everybody.
White suits, no underpants.
And that music video, my kids were in, and we watched it the other day, and man, they look so little.
That's right.
That was crazy. So thank you for those memories, for having us, honoring our challenge and having us in your music video, and just parlaying into a friendship over, God, what has it been?
Well, when did Southern Gothic come out?
2010, I
So
believe.
8 years?
Yeah.
There you go.
Still friends.
I'm an old man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
We're a bunch of old men.
That's right.
Oh,
well,
I'm getting
I
there.
tell you what, whenever you're in town, hopefully it'll be soon, hit us up, man, and we'd love to catch up with you and hang out. So be sure to hit us up, buddy.
I will, man. Actually, I'll be in town December, I think, 11th, doing a show. I'm not sure where.
Lewis,
but,
write that down.
You got it.
December 11th. And we've got it on tape, so he said he was going to hang
All
out
right,
with us.
yeah. We'll show up there in white suits and no underwear, like, where's Elijah? We're on the list. Like, he is not on the list. Get him out of here.
Sir, put on some underpants.
Elijah knows me. My kids are in his video, too. Oh, God.
Sir, that sounds weird. I don't know what you're talking about. Kids and videos, whatever. You're making it really weird. Then they call the cops. It's a whole thing.
Oh, man.
What a mess.
Well, definitely. Keep us informed on that date, and we'll make sure that we plug it everywhere we are on social. And where can people find you, Elijah Jones from the Constellations, on social?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to ask me this, and I have no idea. I'm like the worst self-promoter
Well, look,
ever.
the Constellations on Facebook. I know that.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you
This is
go. And
Facebook.
Elijah Jones on Instagram, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. If you want to
Elijah
see,
Jones
if you
or
want to see
Elijah
cool
Jones
black and white
sending me-
pictures,
Yes. Of the modern day Marlboro man. Yes. Yes.
well, there you go. Well, buddy, again, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on the show, and we can't wait to see you, buddy.
All right, bro, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, bud.
Man, what a cool dude. I'm so glad he was able to call in and talk to us. Elijah Jones from the Constellations.
Crazy dude.
Man, can you believe we got new Constellations music?
Dude, he is
So
just,
exciting.
he is the epitome of what cool is. And I don't even think,
Well, you and I don't even know what that's like.
No,
So, yeah.
because he exudes it. Like,
Yeah.
just, it comes out.
Just even talking to him on the phone, I'm like, yeah, man,
Dude,
we're cool
just want to
now.
hang with him. Just
Yeah.
let me come to Nashville and hang with you, buddy. But no.
Anyways, very cool.
Yes.
We got to hear from him, and we got to hear the new music. I'm so glad
How
we got
cool
new
is
music.
that?
And we have the new album coming out from them pretty soon, man. Just can't wait. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be really good. Listen, I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Unlock this cargo container we're in. I got to use the restroom really quick, and then I'll be right back. I got to tell you about, I want to hear about wrestling, but I got to tell you what went down at Paragon at Brimstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about either, but you're listening to it. It's the Chuckleheads Podcast with Brandon and Lewis.
All right, buddy. You feel better?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so
That was number one. I just wanted to tell you.
I'm glad you let me know.
Yeah, cool. No
you
worries.
saw me over. You saw the look on my face, and you were like, "I bet he's wondering."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was written all over your face. Like, was it one or two?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Artyom? Did you say Artyom?
That's your inner voice.
Oh, that's how it sounds?
when I talk Brandon inner voice. That's what I talk
One
about.
or two? That's weird.
It's Brandon.
Anyways, that's what I sound like in my head.
In your head, yeah.
But not in-
No, like when you go to a bar, you're like, I'm gonna go talk to her and say, hey, this is Brandon. She's gonna love to talk to me.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, you see the success rate there, so that's why that doesn't work. Anyways, so
man.
we've like you said, we've been away for a couple weeks. Been doing a lot of stuff. You, of course, were at Brimstone Paragon. I, of course, did the big wrestling show.
Yes. All right. So the thing on Facebook that you did,
Yeah.
who put that together? Because that is definitely polished and looks great.
Well, so Kind Punk Films, who I mentioned earlier, nice little another plug for them.
There you go. Ding,
Our
ding.
new buddy Nathan Mowry is actually the guy that runs Kind Punk Films, and
Okay.
so SHW Southern Honor Wrestling. They're up in Canton, Georgia. As we record this, we're in this container,
Right,
as you so
cargo
eloquently put it,
container.
cargo
Yeah, yes.
container, in
Lethal Weapon style.
in K-Town, Kennesaw. I don't want to give a direct exact
No,
location,
yep, no.
but just the general vicinity. So
Yeah.
anyway, so Canton's about 20 minutes straight up 575 from here. So it's a pretty short jog for me, or drive.
Yeah.
I'm not jogging that now that I think about it. It's a far jog.
I would skip half of it.
Yeah. Anyways,
No, skip the whole way and just not even drive. Huh?
like half.
Blacked out right now. Yeah, with the words. Go for it.
Oh man.
And Elijah got me all crazy.
I know.
All right.
Well, let's be honest. It would
Yeah,
have been
he
that
didn't.
way anyway.
No.
Yeah,
He just triggered it. He triggered my inner crazy.
It happens.
All right.
So they're right up the road, and as I told you before, I do another podcast for a wrestling podcast called the Mean Street Podcast with some buddies.
Yeah, brother.
That's right. I got me and some of my wrestling buddies, and so the guys from SHW had heard our podcast, and we kind of connected through there, and they wanted us to come out there and do a live podcast, live to tape
Right.
podcast from their first show, which was October 5th, a couple Fridays ago.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were there, they were asking me if I wanted to sit in and do commentary for the show. And so the way they were doing it, it's a live show for everybody there, but they also filmed it.
Right.
And like really well produced it. Like, I mean, they had multiple cameras, the music, the lights, the smoke, I
Right.
mean, everything. It was like done
Did they
up
have
like
a
a legit
production
show.
trailer and everything?
Yeah,
like
well, they had a big giant table in the back of the
Get
room.
outta here.
So it was set up. They had like concerts in this venue and stuff before. So it was all set up like pretty legit. And so the plan was to like film the whole thing and then release it on Facebook. Maybe YouTube too. I'm not sure, but definitely on Facebook because I've already seen it there. But so they did release it. Initially, they were just going to release it in like 30-minute chunks.
Right.
So like each week leading up, there's one show a month, the first Friday every month. And they were going to release it like 30 minutes per
in
week.
Kennesaw.
Canton.
Or excuse me, in Canton.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were going to release 30 minutes a week, and that would kind of lead you up to the next episode or the next live show. But because they had such like a big response to the first show, they said, you know what the heck, for the people that weren't there, we're just going to release the full show all in one at one time. So they released like the full 2-hour show, which you can hear me and the other guy's name, the other commentator, Daryl Collins. We call him DC. They call me B Double. And so it was B Double and DC on the commentary.
Nice.
And I thought it turned out pretty well for the very first time. Like
I got to know, what was your mindset going into it? Like, what were you thinking when you sat down and you're like,
man, I was nervous.
Were you? Even though that's your element, like wrestling like nobody's business.
I was nervous, but like excited nervous. So I wasn't like nervous like, oh my God, I can't do it. I was just more nervous like I wanted to get here and I want to get into it. Because I knew once like we started, it would be like I would just roll with it.
Right.
But it was getting started that I was nervous about. It's like because I'd never done it before.
Right.
Obviously, I've watched it for a million years. So, I mean, I basically know it, but just I've never called a show before or called even one match. So to call the full show, which is like 8 matches, and a couple of them were like there was a tag team match, which is hard to keep up with 4 different guys. And then there was even at the end of the night, there was a 5-way match, 5 competitors.
Oh, my goodness.
For the inaugural SHW championship. So that was crazy. It was like keeping up with everybody and like having to know everybody's finishing moves and all this crazy stuff.
Holy smokes.
The thing is, though, that's what I got to work on for next time. By the way, they did invite me back for the November 2nd show.
Yeah,
so
give me some. Nice.
Apparently they didn't think it sucked too bad.
Right.
So
Boy, that's crazy. That I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah?
Because you are so into wrestling, it's like almost scary, but not scary like my Aunt Snook, like just scary. Like,
not Aunt Snook scary.
You have some knowledge. I mean,
I told people this before. It's like you with action sports.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can see it.
Because you can sit here and spout off action sports stuff, and I'm sitting here like looking like a deer in headlights. Like, I don't know what you're talking about half the time.
Right.
But it's the same kind of thing.
Right.
Like, but I can sit here and do the exact same thing to you with wrestling.
Did you have to fill in between matches and like?
So the way they did it, and I don't know how they're going to do it moving forward. So initially I thought maybe we might be on camera. So they actually gave us Kind Punk shirts.
Easy.
Since they were the big sponsor and they were the ones putting the thing together. So because I didn't know if they were going to have SHW shirts for us to wear or what. So I was just wearing my Wolfpack old wrestling Wolfpack shirt. Kristen was there, my sister Kristen.
Why not?
And she was wearing her Wolfpack. We were going to go. Initially the whole thing was she got us the tickets, so we were going. And then it turned into me calling the commentary.
Oh, my
so I was like,
goodness.
hey, Kristen, I hope you don't mind sitting with my buddies. They got front row seats, though, so they had, like, the best seats in the house.
I could just hear her inner voice going, oh, God, I got to take Brandon. Now look at him. I'm the one who invited him, and he's now going to go commentate, and I got to sit by myself with this guy.
Yeah, she was sitting with Alfred and Adam. Poor Kristen. Anyways, she had a blast. Like I said, she was front row. At one point, one of the wrestlers went out right where they were sitting, so they had to get up and move because then the other dude jumped from the top of the turnbuckle all the way into the crowd right where they were sitting. And there was like chairs flying and everything. It was pretty nuts. And of course, where I was sitting, they didn't have us in a great spot. And I was told for next time they'll improve our field of vision so we'll be able to see a little better.
Yeah.
But there were times where like I'm standing up and we didn't have headset mics, so we just had regular nice mics like we're talking into right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was having to pick it up and like as I was moving around, there was at one point where I was like standing in my chair to see on the other side because there was a table up by the stage and the guy got thrown through the table.
Oh my gosh.
Where we were sitting, you couldn't see all that. So I'm like up in my chair on my tippy toes and I'm like, oh my God, he's got a table. And I'm going nuts. Like, anyways, I think it all came together pretty well.
All right, let me be naive really quick. Do the wrestlers, excuse me, the wrestlers, do they practice that that week of, or do they at least talk about?
I don't know. I'm not that inside with the boys.
Okay.
So I don't really know what their game plan is. I know, like in professional wrestling, the guys that you see on WWE, they're good enough where they can call it in the ring. There might be like some big complicated moves that they have to go over
in the ring as it's going on.
Yeah. So when they have each other in a chokehold or something like that, and you don't see their mouths, it's them,
Not smelling.
Sorry to break the fourth wall here, wrestling fans.
Please. But I don't know, and it's good to know.
But yeah, so that's them like talking in the ear or something, like saying, "Hey, whatever move's coming up." I don't know all.
Lay me out and give me
lingo.
a flying butt pliers off the top ropes, and I'll be done.
I don't. Would that be what your finishing move would be called?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, backwards.
I honestly don't want to know what the move is. The name is enough.
Oh yeah, we'll leave it there.
I don't want you to describe.
It's off the top turnbuckle.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. We don't have to go into details or anything. Just the name alone scares me.
Flying butt pliers.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All the kids are doing it. It's better than vaping.
All right. And here we go
Man,
off the tracks. Anyways,
you're awesome.
So yeah, no, it was an absolute blast. And I was telling people this after we did it. Like, that's the most fun I've had in I don't even know how long. Like, it was a blast. And so after we got done, again, we didn't have headsets the first night. So we were just, the crowd in there was like, it was packed in and it was super loud the whole time. So even though we were sitting right next to each other, like, I was having to shout the whole time.
Right.
And so I was worried because I didn't know how in the world it was gonna turn out. So I was thinking it might turn out crazy because I was shouting so much, and like I felt like me and Daryl couldn't really hear each other, so we were like might have been talking over each other a bunch of times.
You were like, God, I hope this mic. Where's the pickup range?
Right, and so like I don't know who was checking our levels. I don't know, I just sat down and we just started going when it hit 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
and so I had no way of knowing how it was going to sound, and so like for days, it didn't come out. They didn't release it until like the following week, like maybe Wednesday or Thursday of the following week, and so like. Every day between there, I kept waiting, like, oh man, when are they going to put it out? Because I was curious to see how it sounded. Because I had no idea.
And how do you feel that you did? Like, honestly, like
I honestly felt like for a first attempt, I was pretty pleased. Like, I thought it sounded pretty darn good. There was definitely things, and Daryl and I have talked to each other as we both had watched the whole thing to kind of critique each other.
Right.
Of just like there were definitely things where
you're
like
critiquing him.
Yeah, and he's critiquing me.
How long's he been doing it?
Well, I don't know, but he's done a number of shows before. Like he said, he had told me he'd done a number of them before, so I don't know.
And what do you think about you for your first time?
I got positive feedback from him and from the guys that ran the show. And working the promotion. So
dude, I can totally see you doing that. So totally.
I felt good about it. I mean, the thing is, we both, Daryl and I both, as we talked, there were definitely things that we both said a lot that we probably should, you know what I mean? Like there were certain phrases or certain things. Exactly.
Right, that's one.
So there were like certain things that we kept saying that I was like, oh, I guess, all right, that's like the 15th time I said that in like 2 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? So we just got to like figure out, just, I don't know, but it'll come with time and it'll come with getting to know all the wrestlers and knowing their move sets and everything to kind of, and Daryl did a good job of going around ahead of time and taking notes on the guys to get a little bit of their backgrounds.
Okay.
So when they came to the ring, we had something to say about them. This is an independent promotion, so like these aren't well-known wrestlers, so we didn't really. I kind of looked a bunch of them up on YouTube ahead of time to try to at least get a feel for them or recognize who I was talking about. Mm-hmm. So we kind of did a little bit of research, I guess, ahead of time.
What was the coolest finishing move?
Ooh, the coolest finishing move. I don't know about finishing move, but there's this one, the 450 splash, which is the guy's on the top rope, and he just does this crazy flip and lands on the guy. So the guy that won the inaugural championship, Kevin Ryan, that was his move to win the whole thing. But there was this other move where there was a dude sitting on the top rope, two guys up on the second rope, like they were going to double suplex him. And then while they were trying to get him set up, this other dude comes along and he gets underneath the other two dudes and brings all three dudes down.
What?
I don't know exactly what we call it. I call it like the Tower of Terror or something. I'm not exactly sure what the technical term is for it, but it was insane when it happened. And
where did he pick him up from the taint? Like just
so yeah. Well, he kind of went underneath them, like they were both standing. You said taint.
Yeah. That made you stop.
Yeah. It took me a minute. It was like, wait, did he just say taint?
The seam.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little awkward, I guess, but he went up underneath, and it was almost like a double power bomb. You know what power bomb is?
No idea. I mean, I could.
Anyways, we'll be here all night if I'm having to explain all these to you. So anyways, just trust me when I say it was really cool.
All right, okay.
Again, I'm going to post the whole show. I'll post it on our Facebook and social media pages. And, if you're not a wrestling fan, I get it. You're not going to sit through the whole thing, but scan through. You can hear me all along the way. Scan through and check it out.
But I will.
Are you familiar with Diamond Dallas Page? Have you at least heard of DDP?
Yes.
So he surprised everyone and made an appearance in this thing. Not kidding. And that is probably the point where I blew my voice out because by the end of the show, my voice was almost gone.
Right.
I woke up Saturday and I was talking like in a whisper. Like I couldn't talk above a whisper.
Think you charged something loose, hand me a smoke.
My voice was shot.
Man.
And, but that was probably the point of the night where I totally blew it out.
How did he find out?
So technically, I don't know how big of a secret this is. I think a lot of people know. Actually, DDP said it in the ring when he was talking to the crowd. A lot of the guys that are working for SHW and Nathan and Kind Punk Films and those guys that do the videos, they do a lot of the video stuff and they work at his DDP Yoga Performance Center.
Oh, okay.
And so they work with him. And the thing is, I don't know if he's really involved at all with SHW other than the guys that work there also work with him. And
But you had no idea he was coming. That's
had no
awesome.
clue. And so I knew that they worked for him or worked with him doing his DDP yoga. Had no idea he was going to show up at the SHW show. Now, he had put out like an endorsement video ahead of time, just saying like, hey, come out to the SHW show Friday, October 5th in Canton. And it was cool. I was like, oh, that's neat. They got DDP to kind of do an endorsement. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No clue he was going to actually show up live, though.
Was he in the stand? Was he in the seats?
So
or
apparently,
did he come out?
So here's the thing. And they did like a little 15-minute intermission. A little over midway through the show, they did like a 15-minute intermission. People go to the bathroom, go to the concession stand, whatever. And as they were doing that, you know, we weren't rolling or anything. So Daryl and I were taking a break too. And he went off to the backstage, and I went over to talk to Kristen and Adam and Alfred, who were sitting over here. And so I'm over there talking to them. I come back to the table, and Daryl goes, Brandon, come here. You're not going to believe who I just saw backstage. I was like, what? He's like, Diamond Dallas Page is backstage. And I was like, no.
So he had no idea either.
Not until he saw him backstage. Wow. But then I said, is he coming out to the ring? And he's like, no, I don't know, but he's just backstage hanging out. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But we still didn't know he was coming to the ring.
Yeah.
Right? And so we're just like, oh, that's cool. And so like I texted Kristen. I was like, hey, you're not going to believe this. Diamond Dallas Page is backstage. I don't know if he's coming out though.
Yeah.
But, you know, I and then I feel bad because I was like, I kind of spoiled it for her because then she was like, she knew he was there. I was like, oh, I wish I would have told her that.
Oh,
but
right.
at the same time, she was still blown away. We were all blown away. So he came out, like his music hit. It was his old WCW video and his music from WCW back in the day.
Right.
And as soon as it hit, I'm like, no way.
Oh, man.
That's CDP's music. No way. He's not here. There's no way he's here. And then, of course, he comes out and we're just going nuts. He's here. He's at SHW.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable. And
Was
man,
the
my
place
voice-
going nuts?
Oh, man. It was insane. It was so loud. And like I said, that was probably the loudest yelling I was doing at that point. The crowd was the loudest the whole night. The roof came off the place. And so I knew at that point, I was like, well, there goes the voice.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I had been loud and screaming the whole time anyway. So it was like, I knew it was getting raspier and raspier. But I went back and watched the whole show. We were down in bottled waters like throughout the whole broadcast, which I'm glad we had them available because if I didn't, I would have been like, you couldn't have heard. Yeah, you couldn't have heard me throughout the whole show. But I kept the voice the whole way through. But like I said, I woke up Saturday and I was talking in a whisper, like it was gone, and it was gone for like Monday. I came to work and it was finally like coming back.
Wrestlers.
Yeah, I came back Monday and I was like, hey, it's kind of coming back. Here we go.
I'll just have a ham sandwich.
So, anyways, it was a freaking blast.
Dude,
Like,
that's cool.
It was so much
That's
fun.
cool. So one more time, plug the fellas that got you into this because this is right up your alley.
That's right. So it's Southern Honor Wrestling. It's in Canton, Georgia. It's called the Action Building is where it takes place. It's the first Friday of every month. So the next one is November 2nd. So
Oh, man.
if you're wanting
Ain't
to come
nothing
out.
like the first of the month.
That's right. That's right. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Huh?
Yeah, Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel
Boom,
you.
boom, 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 boom.
Dude, that
All
is
right.
so cool. That is so cool. Well, listen,
Yeah.
did you get Diamond Dallas's, digits and stuff, just so you can talk to him?
I would have, but the thing is, like, I think he was in and out. So as soon as he did his thing, he brought out the championship belt and introduced it to everybody because right after that, then they had the big championship match for the inaugural champion. And it was the 5-way match. And that's when it got a little hectic because I was like, oh, man, calling a tag team match was harder than the singles matches. And now we're calling a 5-way match. Like, God, this is a lot to keep up with. Woo.
Right?
But no, man, it was so much fun. I can't wait till November 2nd. We're going to do it all over again.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'm going to try to make it out for that one.
Yeah, man, can't
If
wait.
I'm in town, I'm checking it out.
And speaking of you being out of town all the time, you were just out of town at Brimstone Paragon.
Oh, yes. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Let me run to the restroom really quick. I've been drinking a lot of water. People say that you got to stay hydrated, so I'm just trying to stay hydrated, but I pee way too much now.
Hey, don't look at me. They conned me into reading this stuff, and I can't believe I did it. It's the Chuckleheads Podcast with Brandon and Lewis. Hey, is it too late to bail out on this?
Man, you done?
Ah!
Oh, Lewis, over here.
Oh, coming. Hold on a minute. Hold on. There we go. Oh.
Watch the mic.
I think I broke the chair. Why not?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Nope. This cargo containers, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And there's no echo.
That's what's great. Well, I put all the soundproof.
You didn't do that.
Soundproofed it.
You didn't do that.
Huh? You feel better?
Phew, yes, I do feel better. Thank you for asking.
So you talked to our boy Smagical.
It was a number one. Yes. I didn't only talk to him. All
Had
right.
to hang with him.
Yes. All right.
Brimstone Paragon.
So let me just start from the beginning, and I'll move rapidly because I had the time of my life. One, because when I got there to Brimstone, I checked in. Hey, Lewis, good to see you again. Yeah, right on. Mm-hmm. and gave me my wristband and all that stuff, and gave me a little lowdown of what, because I got there Thursday and everything starts on Friday. And I said, okay, well, just where am I staying so I can put my stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Lewis, I forgot to get you up. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's what I got. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem.
So you had no room lined up?
Yeah, no room. But, okay, it rained the whole way from Atlanta to Huntsville, Tennessee. Yeah. The whole way up.
So what's the drive? Like, how long is that?
4 hours. Okay. About 4 hours.
All right.
And it's right up 75. Like, it's no thinking. Just get in there and go. It's like an hour north of Knoxville.
Okay.
And rained the whole way. So now I'm like, all right, I'm easy breezy. I can care less. Like, as long as I can, at the end of the day, lay down and get some rest, and I'm good. So I went down, and from where I check in to get to, I guess, ground zero, like where the stage is and everything at Brimstone, right. I got down there, and they finally, they came down maybe 10 minutes after me. Lewis, we're so sorry. We got you all taken care of. You're going to stay in Grandpa and Grandma's house. I said, what? They're like, yeah, it's 5 miles down a log road.
Is this like Grandma and Grandpa Brimstone?
I don't know, but I would think so.
Okay.
It's let me get there.
I mean, is it somebody's name? Is it Brimstone somebody's last name?
You know what? I don't know. No,
I'm just guessing.
No, the Loves, I know the Loves run it. Like, okay. Their last name's Love.
Is Grandma and Grandpa Love?
No, it just says Grandma and Grandpa on the sign out front. Now listen.
Is there a Grandma and Grandpa that live in there?
No one lives in there.
They
rent it
house.
Out. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if they rent it out. I don't know how it works. I'll get to it, though. Right. Let me get there. So they're like, hey, you're going to stay there. It's 5 miles off a log road.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, Lewis, we got one stipulation, though. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, what is it? Daughtry's staying there. And so you're going to have to get out Saturday morning at like 6. And then he's not going to stay overnight. You can come back in after the show, like 1. I said, well, what?
So you're telling me you and Daughtry share toothbrushes?
No. So listen, I looked at them and I said, you want me to what? I said, you want me to load up at 5 in the morning and just stand outside in the cold in the woods and just looking in the window going, Daughtry, I could be so warm right now. like I'm part of the Underground Railroad. So I'm super cool about it. I'm like, all right, yeah, no worries. I'll make it work. But they came back and they're like, hey, listen, he ended up you don't have to be out until 7, but my call time was 8 o'clock, so I needed to be out by 7 to get down this long 5-mile old logging road in my truck, bouncing all over the place. I got lost like 3 or 4 times. I
knew that was coming.
Oh, man, it was horrible. The experience of getting there was horrible. Now, the whole experience that I experienced at Brimstone Paragon was like no other.
Yeah.
It was all about Smagical and him coming back to his,
where the accident
happened, and to be able to sit down and hang out with the dude and really talk to him and see that he is totally legit in everything that he does, that he says. He means it, and everyone around him is just as amped and as excited as he is.
Yeah.
Now, when we're standing around all weekend, it was all about Smagical, so Hubert was there, and Street Bike Tommy was there with his Looney Bin barbecue, which is absolutely amazing. But Smagical and I would be standing there, and I'd see him kind of like sway back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, man, do you want a chair? And he's like, I'd love one. And I'm thinking in my head, man, just say you need a chair and anybody would run and get him. But that's the type of dude he is. He doesn't want to ask for a chair.
He didn't want anybody doing anything for him.
Yeah, it was crazy. But when I'd ask him, dude, I'd love one. Like, oh, my goodness. So he couldn't have been any nicer and more appreciative. And he brought his brother Pat and Troy Smalls out with him. Mm-hmm. 2 of the coolest dudes. His brother Pat, though, looks intimidating. Doesn't say much.
Really?
He doesn't say much, but he's a 10-time trials champion. Like, the dude is mind-blowing on his bike.
Yeah.
Right? So his bike speaks for him. He doesn't have to say a word. Right. And he always just sits back, and I'll say stuff on the mic, and I'll just catch him looking at me and kind of like a he's trying to compute what I'm saying. And he's like, all right, man. And then he gives me a smile. But like Smalls he was the coolest dude, like he into everything. You're like, hey, what are we doing here? Let's go over here, check this out. Like, he was into everything. He was a cool dude.
Yeah.
But Smagical, I had him on stage with me. And so we did a live auction. raised, I think, over $8,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Nitro Circus, they donated a bunch of stuff
And that's going towards his recovery.
Yeah, all this is going to Road to Recovery and to help him and his family.
That's awesome.
And so all of the proceeds from the T-shirts that they were selling for $25, the live auction, all of that, and the stickers and the tattoos, all that went to help him and his road to recovery. He didn't one time. He never said to me, "Hey, I'm gonna get going and go relax for a little bit." He's always like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna go over here and try this over here," or let's go ride over here. And I'm going, dude, how are you doing this one?
Yeah.
And why are you talking to me? Like he is, I put him on a whole nother level now.
Yeah.
Now that I know him, and I actually texted him the other day. I was like, hey man, I want to find one of those goat jackets because it's getting kind of chilly down here in Georgia.
Right.
He's out. What's your address? I want to send you one. I was like, no. Let me know how much it is because I want to help. And that's the type of dude I am. But that's what I want to give back to him. So we're on stage and doing the live auction. And before we get to it, I said, hey, Smagical, I want to explain something to you. And I'm on the mic in front of everybody. Mm-hmm. And I said, when you were up here at the White Knuckle event at Brimstone, we all got these bracelets. I said, I haven't taken mine off, and I explained it's a great conversation piece for people to say, hey, what's that bracelet? And I'm like, oh, Smagical, go to a Road to Recovery. If you can help out, that would be awesome. Every little bit helps. So it was a great conversation piece. I saved it, and I was gonna cut it off once he got out of the hospital, but then I got to thinking, I was like, no, I want to see him ride his trials bike. I will not cut this thing off my wrist until I see him do his trials bike.
Right.
So I'm explaining this to him. Dude, damn if I didn't get teared up.
In
front of everybody. I'm like, oh, wait.
Were you on the mic? So you were on the mic doing this?
Yeah, on stage.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, everybody, I had to call myself out. I was like, listen, I apologize that I'm getting teared up, but this dude right here is bringing it out of me. So I said, Smagical, I appreciate it, man. I said, before we did the live auction, before we did the concert of the Big and Rich, we were watching Troy Smalls and his brother Pat do their trials, demonstration, their stunt show, which was, oh my God. They brought in a car and just went all over it. It was crazy.
I saw it on Instagram.
It was like they were firing ants all over. So,
and at one point, wasn't Smagical inside the car?
Yes,
when they first went over?
I'm telling you. Dude, that dude, he was climbing in and out of the Red Bull vehicle.
That's crazy.
Like nothing happened. Like, dude, is mind-blowing. So I'm standing on stage because I'm waiting for everybody to come over to do another auction, and then, Big and Rich. I'm standing on the stage, and I'm standing with Greg Love with Brimstone, and I said, dude, is he about to get on that bike? And we can see Smagical get on this darn gas trials bike and ride. Look, I got goosebumps, dude. I got goosebumps. I didn't have, the mic wasn't hot, so I'm screaming. Yeah. Oh my God, yes! I'm yelling, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm probably 100 yards from him. I'm way, way away from him. So Greg's like, oh, he is riding it. Okay, now get off. He's like yelling at him. Okay, get off. He can't hear him. Right, but he was getting nervous for him. He's like, okay, you showed us. Just get off.
Again, so that was on video on Instagram.
Yes.
And as I'm watching it, I kept up with it daily, like while you were at Brimstone. So I'm there. Obviously didn't get to go, but I was like watching Instagram like each day.
Right.
And so I saw Smagicals. I saw that video and I thought, because I didn't know where you were, if you were seeing it live or if you were, because you weren't in the shot or anything. So I was like, oh man, I bet Lewis is losing it right now seeing this.
I was.
I knew you were.
I wish I could have been over there, but I had to be on stage because I had to direct everybody from way over there.
It's still cool that you could see him though.
Oh, dude, like another set of goosebumps. Good job, B. You gave me another set. 2 sets of goosebumps in one podcast. Woo! Watch out, ladies. Sorry. So
you said watch out, ladies.
I have no earthly idea. I like ham sandwiches too.
Oh man.
To be able to see that and to be experience that and to tell him, I really appreciate what you do and what you've done in your recovery, and you're touching on these lives. That was my way of saying it. So I didn't actually have him cut it off because we were running close on time, and everything's got to be clicking when you have bands and stuff, And so I talked to Smagical and I said, listen, I really want to sit down and do an interview with you. I know you guys are jetting out because I think Pat was going to another competition on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I said, will you call into the show? And I got a few things I want to ask you. And we need to know, things like the goat and things like I gave him a couple, highlighted points. I was like, I need to know about the goat. I need to know what happened on the actual accident. And I want to know what your future plans are. And he goes, Lewis, You call me anytime. You and Brandon
That's
have
awesome.
my number.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to call him.
So we'll have to do that real soon on one of the upcoming episodes to have him call in.
No,
I can't wait.
Dude, we're friends now. We're friends. And speaking of friends,
Yeah.
Hubert was there. Hubert did guided tours, and dude, he was gone for hours with people and hitting waterfalls. But my man, Street Bike Tommy, delivered. Not only does he have the best brisket, I'm telling you, on the whole East Coast, I'm talking down dirty south. Yes, it is. It melts in your mouth. It melts. So I'm hanging out with Tommy, and we're talking and laughing because I've known him for a little bit now, but 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
But not like I know you. Like when we see each other when we're out and about, hey, what's up, man? No, not too much. And so Tommy, we were talking outside of his Looney Bin barbecue joint.
Yep.
His trailer, which is the coolest setup. And for some reason, I guess I kind of stepped differently. Like I was stepping like I was walking off, but I was just listening to him and I was just moving, my ADHD. And he looked at me, dude, and said, oh, man, you know what? I know you're busy. I'm going to let you go. And man, I fell out, dude. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how are you going to let me go? And I'm like, I said, I'm not the one that's busy.
You thought you were trying to walk out?
Dude, we laughed about that all weekend. So every time we ran into each other, like, oh, you know what, man? You look busy. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. Oh. So now every time I hit him, I'm like, I know you're busy, man.
Inside jokes.
But before I let you go. Yeah, so that dude, he finally got a brick and mortar Looney Bin barbecue joint in in Maryland.
Nice.
And I guess they're hiring, and dude, he's doing it.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, I told him, I said, if you ever really want to truly test your barbecue, my man, come down south. I said, and you'll win everything. He's that good. Like
that's crazy.
It's mind blowing. And I'm not saying that. And he's such a smart businessman that he doesn't tie his name into it. He doesn't tie Nitro Circus into it. If you know Nitro Circus or you know action sports, you know he's a part of it.
Right.
But he doesn't have to use that to make his, barbecue the best. The barbecue speaks for itself, dude.
Well, there you go.
He couldn't have been any funnier and any cooler.
Man, that's awesome.
Love that dude.
I'm so glad you had a blast.
I'm glad you had a blast.
I had a blast doing the wrestling thing.
Top ropes.
What's your next big event you got coming up?
Ruckus and I are about to go to Camp Razor in Glamis.
Right.
Yes.
I posted the video from last year where you're drinking the sand.
Yeah.
I shared that on social media not too long ago, and I got some good, funny feedback.
Oh, that's good.
So that'll be coming up. Looking forward to that. When? What are the dates for that?
That is, I will be going out October 24th and coming back. So it's 26th and 27th.
Okay.
It's that weekend. It's that whole weekend coming up in the end of the month. Oh my goodness, man.
So we'll have that to talk about next time. Like I said, our next big wrestling show for SHW in Canton, Georgia is November 2nd. Mm-hmm. And once again, we want to thank Elijah from the Constellations.
Yeah.
I can't believe we have new music from the Constellations. It's been several years. And we were nervous. We were like, man, are we never going to hear any more Constellations music?
Yeah, and I got your tattoo on me. Give me more music.
He got a Constellations tattoo. And man, so excited. Want to thank him for calling in and talking to us, and thank him for letting us play his new music on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up for this week. And we'll talk to you next time.
Cheeseburgers.
Woo!
Hey, if you made it this far, what is wrong with you? But if not, we don't blame you. Tune in next time for more Brandon and Lewis on the Chuckleheads podcast. Are we done? Good.